What's up, BookTube? Back with my last weekly update of 2026 in January. Almost forgot January in there. Almost forgot 2026. Hard to believe that we're already there. Hard to believe we're already at the end of January 2026. I'm getting all confused. I'm getting older. It happens. Whatever. But I have finished this month. I am not a procrastinator anymore. I have finished 5. Count them, 5 big books this year. I've got 2 that I was really excited for. I got those out of the way that I've been on my TBR for a very, very long time. I got those out of my way. And I finished a couple of books that I was supposed to finish in February. But I ended up just blowing past them. Like, I had 3 books probably by about the 12th or 13th of January. I had 3 books already just read. I was flying through these books in a lot of ways. There was one that was a holdover from December. So I will say that, but I wasn't technically far in. But overall, I mean, these are the books that I finished was Piranesi, The Will of the Many, the first book in the Warlord Chronicles, Project Hail Mary, and the last book in the First Law trilogy, which was a book that I wasn't even supposed to get to, like I said, until next month. I actually cannot believe, but I somehow managed it, and it's a shock to me that I had 3 out of the 5 were 5-star reads. And I don't know if I just picked the right books at the right time, or if it's this new strategy I've been going towards where I'm not going to go and read things that I'm not interested in just because every other booktuber out there it's the next big thing. I'm not doing that. I'm just not doing that. I feel like if this month has taught me anything, I'm not going after BookTube darlings anymore, because apparently my tastes and BookTube darlings do not get along very well. They do not get along because everybody said that Piranesi was going to be a hit for me. 3-star read. That's the way I feel towards it. The Will of the Many. It's a great book. Don't get me wrong. It was a great book. But it was a book that I'm not excited to go to the next one. Still think it was about a 4-star book, but I'm not willing to say that I'm going to commit to the next book in the series anytime soon, which was the idea that I had in mind. Was I was going to finish that one and then I was going to move on to the second one. Instead, I found other things that I wanted to read more, and that kind of shocked me a little bit. It kind of disappointed me as well. That being said, those were the 2 BookTube darlings that I did not enjoy, or enjoyed somewhat on one, but it's not one that I'm going to be going to the next one right off the bat. But the others that I actually finished were books that I've been wanting to read, and I read in just a couple of days. I literally read the last book in the First Law trilogy in about 3 to 4 days. I read it. I just was flying through it. I spent more time with that book at one point in time of a day that I've ever probably spent with any other book. And I did it not because I was trying to finish it, but because I couldn't put it down. So that's the way I feel towards that one. But overall, like I said, great time with these books. I've really enjoyed it. So let's go to the one that I actually finished for my last book for January 2026, The Last Argument of Kings. Now, I thought the first book was a masterpiece in characters. I don't think Joe Abercrombie could have written those characters in that first book any better than what he technically did. That book to me was a masterclass in how you write characters, because Sandan Glokta is a character, him concerning himself with like the big villain is stairs, and you could have him just speaking about stairs and how much he hates them for like 50 pages, and I would be on the edge of my seat. That's how much I love that character. Probably my all-time favorite character of all time, which is, that's saying something. Like, man, I'm trying to think, like, who else would it be? Like, Darrow would be up there. Orca from the Blood Sworn trilogy, that would be up there too as well. But Glokta is just an absolutely memorable character, just absolutely memorable. I love this book. I thought the second one kind of failed to a certain extent with me, because it went on this like character journey, and you had a lot of these characters that misfit characters in a lot of different ways. I kind of felt like that got a little old. You had Nine Fingers off with a bunch. You had basically Baez and all the other ones, Luthor and all those going on these quests, and these quests were boring. They were boring to me in a lot of different ways. But the Last Argument of Kings did the polar opposite of it. The Last Argument of Kings did something that I really truly actually wasn't expecting. It grew characters that I was not a big fan of in the second book, which that was another thing in the second book I did not enjoy, was these added POV characters. I did not enjoy them. I did not like Pharaoh. I did not like Dogman in a lot of ways. But in this next book, they were amazing characters. West was another amazing character. I absolutely enjoyed his little quest and getting to experience his POV. I never thought I would enjoy Pharaoh. I never thought I'd enjoy her, but she actually had one of the most interesting plots in this third book, I thought. But let's just go ahead and just the things that I just absolutely loved. Dialogue could not get any better. I thought they did a lot of the political cynicism pretty well as well. It's something about, I won't give away the story of it, but one of our main characters becomes king. And it was just funny, you expect that character, at least, you followed that character for 2 books, and then you expect this pompous prick to just get, the biggest head and fail in that way, and he actually turned out to be the polar opposite of it. He turned out to be the opposite of what I thought. His character grew the most, like absolutely grew the most, and which stunned me. Actually became one of my favorite POV characters of this entire book, which I was not expecting that. So I feel like that just right there was enough that I would give it, I would say it's hitting the precipice of not being able to get any better than what it actually was. Does the story in the First Law trilogy lack? Yes, it kind of does. It does, like, it feels like you know the places, but you really don't know the places. Like, Abercrombie don't spend a lot of time, setting up set pieces of, of buildings and things along those lines. You get a few of it, but it's mainly just 1 or 2 places that he really just focuses on, and really has done that the entire trilogy, depending upon the place that we're at. But it works for him. It works for him. He's not an epic fantasy like guy that, builds up every city and every character. He doesn't do that, but he does make the side characters, and he makes the main characters memorable. And that's his bread and butter. That's his bread and butter, and I think he does an absolutely fantastic job on it. Now, the one thing that kind of made me hesitate on giving this specific book a 5-star read was the ending. I was not a fan of the ending. I don't know what I thought. Did I think that this book was going to end in a shocking twist? Probably not. Did I think that this book would end in a peaceful way where everybody gets what they want? No. No, I did not expect that at all. There was a lot of characters, a lot of my favorite characters I expected to be dead by the end of this, and surprisingly enough, are still alive. So that to me was, the ending could have been better. The ending, in my personal opinion, could have been better. I wish it would have been. That was really the only flaw I can say on this specific book, though. I loved it. I loved it. I would recommend it to anybody. I'd recommend this entire series as a whole, this entire trilogy. Because if you really think about it, I mean, even though I feel like the second book let me down, like, I mean, what did it let me down as? Like a 4-star read? Yeah. I think I can live with that. I think I can definitely live with that. But anyways, that's my last argument of the Kings when it comes to Joe Abercrombie. I can't wait to get on to... I'm going to read, I think, some of his... I think I'm going to read some of his standalones. And then I'm going to get to the next series of his. The Devils had broken me on Joe Abercrombie, and that's why it took so long to get to this third book. But I kind of wish that I hadn't have let the Devils get me that way. But overall, fantastic book. Fantastic book. Now, as far as a book I am still reading, and I'm enjoying it. I really am. There's parts of it, I don't know, I kind of feel like with a John Gwynne book, there's parts of it that I absolutely love and am intrigued by. And then there's parts of it that I kind of just slog through. It's, how do I put it when it comes to John Gwynne? It's his... I like his writing style. I just feel like he repeats certain phrases so much that it just makes me roll my eyes. I hate how when you have Viking characters and you make them like they've never spoken English in their life, even though that's their native tongue in the book or whatever. You get what I'm meaning on it. That kind of bothers me. I hate the way that they kind of... It's like Yoda speak, really, is the way it is. I don't like that aspect of it. I get why he does it. It's just the norm for Viking-inspired books. I just specifically... The show Vikings ruined me on that, I guess, in a lot of ways. But overall, you know, this series feels not just mythic, but it feels epic. And I know, even though I'm probably only about 60% through of this, I know that this is going to give me, you know, another epic feel to it when it comes to the ending. I'm not worried about the ending. I feel like John Gwynne has proven me wrong when it comes to endings, that of how could he make it any better when I feel like that's where he does it great, where I said Abercrombie kind of failed me a little bit. I feel like John Gwynne won't fail me in that aspect. He's just a consistent writer, is what I would say when it comes to John Gwynne just overall. He's just consistently good. He's good at his prose. He's good at his character creation. He's good at just making the world, you know, world building overall. Like I can remember a lot, even though it had been a while since I had read the first one, I still could remember a lot of the places and where I had left off in the last book. And that always says a lot about the author. When you can, you know, lay off a book for a year and then go right back to it like it's absolutely nothing. And you miss it like it's a lost friend. And you wonder why it took you so long to go back to it. And that's kind of the way I feel towards The Hunger of the Gods. I cannot wait to finish this. I probably will have this finished probably mid-February if I absolutely had to guess. Maybe the end if I just take my time. It just depends upon what I'm going to be reading in February, which is still up in the air for me. Now, as far as this book is concerned, this book, The Justice of Kings, this started off not the way I expected. From what I had read, it was kind of a Song of Ice and Fire kind of like feel to it, you know, like with political intrigue. I feel like it's getting to that, But I'm also about, again, another 60% way through, and it's been more of a crime story. And that kind of, it's not bad, but it also isn't something that just, it's just not something that really intrigues me either. You know, I do like the main character. I like the Helena character. I think she's fantastic in her role. I feel like that aspect of it is done phenomenal. I like, her character. The characters that's with her, that Von Vault and Bressinger, Duba and Bressinger, I think it's his name. I enjoy that. I think Von Vault is a really interesting, mysterious character that I look forward to knowing a lot more throughout this series. But this is a book that I'm enjoying, but I'm not loving to read it. Like when I wake up in the mornings, it's not the book that I'm most excited to read. Let's just put it that way. But overall, it's not a bad book. It's not a bad book. I will continue with this trilogy. I will finish it, and hopefully I'll be able to get to the next one really, really soon, because that's the one I'm really, really wanting to get to. But overall, this is another one. Book 5 of Dungeon Crawler Carl. Talk about a series that don't let you down. This one does not let you down. This is a series that I keep telling myself I'm going to put off, and I just won't put it off. Like, my mind tells me, no, you continue on. You read as much as this. Like, I miss these characters, not reading these characters. I don't know, and I hate how fast I'm flying through these books. The idea that I'm on book 5 already of this series, when I literally just started this just a few months ago, and I'm already on book 5. Blows my mind. Just absolutely blows my mind. I don't think I've ever gone through a series this quick. And it makes me upset to a certain extent, because I think to myself, what am I going to do when I run out of this? I'm going to miss these characters. I think Matt Dinniman is fantastic author. I will be reading anything and everything of Matt Dinniman from this point on. I just think he's a great author, but I'm curious to see what his characters will look like outside of this universe. Because sometimes, you'll think that you found this like amazing author that will be good in everything, a la Abercrombie. That's the way I felt towards him. And then I read The Devils, and I was like, ooh, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I'm hoping Matt Dinniman doesn't do me that way. I hope that he makes this Dungeon Crawler Carl series as long as he possibly can. I wish it would continue on to eternity. That's how much I actually enjoy this series. The only one that I can say that I actually truly hated was the third one. That was a hard book for me to get through. But I've had harder reads than that by far. So overall, I mean, those are the books that I will be trying to finish or get close to finishing by the end of this month. I still got maybe about 2 books that I haven't decided on which ones I'm going to read to go along with this. I'm thinking of maybe a shorter read and maybe a mid read. I'm not going to go into like these big clunker of books. I'm not going to do anything like that. Because I kind of feel like the Bloodsworn trilogy is, even though I finished a lot of it, I still got a long ways to go in it, I feel like. So I'm not gonna rush it. I'm gonna take my time. February is a very short month, so I'm not going to try to press too much. I'm gonna just try to stay consistent. Enjoy the books that I got. Pray that there's another 3 5-star reads in my near future. Highly doubt it. I probably won't see another one for the rest of the year. Which is odd, because I think last year, before I got to my first 5-star read, I think it was like August. It was just August before I got to my first 5-star read. I mean, and now January, I've already got 3, which blows my mind. But Again, maybe it's just a difference of strategy. Maybe I'm just really good at guessing books to read. I don't know. But overall, guys, let me know what books y'all are reading and what books y'all are excited to read in February. Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, guys, thank y'all for watching. Y'all take care.